TV5 News live at 8.
I'm Mark Despotakis, our Clarion Borough and Clarion University Y2K Ready. I'll have an in-depth look coming up.
Good evening. I'm TV5's Jen Bellagino, taking a look at Clarion's current and extended weather conditions. Will weather conditions remain the same? Will we see the temperatures rise or fall? Will there be snow in our future? I'll have your complete weather watch forecast coming up. And academic standards could be dropping in a school district near you. The story later.
I'm Jeff Say from the Clarion Call, and coming up next, tomorrow's headlines today.
And a Nebraska man is saved by a hair. Find out how, coming up as TV5 News at 8
brings coverage closer to home.
Bringing coverage closer to home.
Good evening and welcome to TV5 News. I'm Christy Herman.
And I'm Dave Marsh. Mark Despotakis joins us with tonight's top story regarding the Y2K phenomenon and its possible effects on the Clarion area. Mark?
Thanks, Dave. Well, it is our last newscast before Y2K officially hits, so we thought we'd take a look at what may happen with Y2K. We had someone from Computing Services at Clarion University come here to TV5 to tell us about that, and we also found out what's going to happen in Clarion Borough. It's tonight's top story. Take a look. Are we going to be all right?
We're going to be in great shape,
okay.
Yeah.
Reassuring words from Karen Namaro of Clarion University's Computing Services about the potential Y2K computer bug. We asked Tamara to come to the TV5 control room to see if we were really ready for Y2K. Here. Is this going to be okay when Y2K comes?
What we did is we went around and we checked every PC on campus. And you'll note on here there's a blue dot. There's a blue A and there's a blue B. Blue B means just turn off your computer before January 1st. And when you come back in, turn it back on again. Blue A means that you need a disk to put it in there. And the disks have been sent out to all the departments. So you should have a disk. Just put it in your floppy drive before you turn it on again, and it'll be fine.
Okay. So our teleprompter will be okay as long as we insert a disk after January 1st. Another important computer for us is our graphics generator. Demaro assured us that this will work fine.
As you'll note on this one, your dot is a green one. This one is in even better condition than the other. Green means you are totally 100% compliant. You will have absolutely no problems with it.
Okay. Of course, problems could extend to the whole university.
And we are very confident that we're not going to have too many problems. I'm sure there's going to be little blips and burps here and there.
So TV5 and Clarion University are Y2K compliant. That's the good news. What about Clarion Borough? We spent the afternoon with Borough Manager Carol Lapinto to find out if Clarion Borough is ready for January 1st, 2000.
Preparing as if we were going to have a major snowstorm.
But there are some other preparations necessary for the borough to be ready for Y2K.
And we ultimately had to upgrade some computers, and we had to buy new accounting software. And just until recently, we were working to get our police software up to speed. So we're okay there. Another major concern for the borough were the traffic signals. And we believe our signals will be okay, but in order to err on the side of safety, on the 30th or the 31st at every traffic signal, we will put up a four-way stop, just in case they will malfunction.
Expect some little problems come December 31st, January 1. I don't know if it's going to be too much. I'm still a little bit concerned, but we'll all live on, I guess, the day after, guys.
So, Mark, before you go, we're just wondering, how long has the university and the borough been working on this problem?
Well, the university has had this action team put together for about 4 years. They've been working with other schools on this. And the borough, they told me that they've been working on some logistical things actually in the borough for the past year. But there's obviously been planning on this for years before that.
Cool. Thanks, Mark. Those anticipating a decision by Clarion Borough Council concerning a use variance request for the development of an apartment complex just outside the Clarion University campus will have to wait a bit longer. Council members listened Tuesday night as both sides aired their perspectives on the controversial proposal. Many residents in the Greenville Avenue and Heydrich Street area are opposed to the plan. At the conclusion of the public hearing, Borough Solicitor Terry Pope advised council to delay a vote and instead ask attorneys from each group to submit briefs that further argue their positions. Attorneys will be given 20 days to submit the briefs. Pope will then review the information and offer his legal opinion to council. A Shippenville man was killed Monday as the result of a single vehicle accident along Interstate 76 in Fannett Township, Franklin County. State police said Donald L. Young of Shippenville was thrown from his westbound tractor trailer following the crash at 6:50 p.m. Monday and pronounced dead shortly after 9 p.m. at York Hospital. According to police, the truck, which was carrying plastic milk jugs, apparently drifted off the right side of the road and hit the guardrail, rupturing the fuel tank. The vehicle then caught fire and traveled to the left lane of the roadway, hitting a concrete barrier and crashing through 4 other barriers. Police said the truck became airborne, traveled into the Meridian, and landed on its left side.
A young woman testified Tuesday she assumed that the man who came into her sorority house bedroom in the early hours of October 1st was her friend who had fallen asleep on the couch. The man allegedly got into her bed and started kissing her. When she turned on the lights and realized it wasn't her friend, she screamed and fled the scene. Police have identified the man as 19-year-old Jason Bonner of Sligo. Bonner was ordered held for trial Tuesday on charges of indecent assault, burglary, criminal trespassing, and public drunkenness. Clarion police officer William Peck testified he was working on the borough October 1st when he spotted a man running through town without a shirt or shoes. The officer eventually cornered and took Bonner into custody. Later, according to police, Bonner admitted he had gone into the sorority house. A Franklin man accused of brandishing a loaded handgun in a hospital or emergency room last year is headed to trial after a negotiation plea argument broke out in Tuesday in Venango County Court. Gary L. Barnes was scheduled to plead guilty to a weapons violation and recklessly endangering another in exchange for a dismissal of several lesser charges. But the deal was called off when Barnes testified he did not remember threatening anyone but himself with the gun. Barnes, who is being treated for depression and a bipolar disorder, said he had been off his medication and was suicidal the night of the incident. Witnesses' report for the prosecution alleged that Barnes, intoxicated and agitated, threatened to harm himself or others if he was not treated.
The second of 2 men accused of causing more than $10,000 damage in a Memorial Day burglary at Hedges Aluminum confessed to the break-in Tuesday in Venango County Court. Eric Hutchison of Oil City said he and co-defendant Sean Balsita, also of Oil City, dropped into the Corn Planter Township plant through a skylight and ransacked the inside. The admission came as Hutchison pleaded guilty to a charge of burglary in a plea agreement that dropped charges of criminal mischief and criminal conspiracy. Balsita pleaded guilty in a similar agreement at an earlier date. Both were former employees at the plant, and Hutchison said they were seeking to retaliate against the company. Cranberry School Board members will decide who their next president will be Thursday. Richard Drellick and Dorothy Mitchell were nominated for the position at a reorganization meeting Monday night, but the 8 members present twice voted to a 4-4 tie. Board Secretary Henry Carg said the panel recessed until Thursday when its 9th member, Howard O'Neill, is expected to be present. Now, since the remainder of Monday's meeting was to be directed by the new president, no more of the agenda was handled. The board will complete the agenda Thursday.
The mild weather and lack of snow haven't been the greatest for area hunters, but the conditions haven't really hurt things either. The Pennsylvania Game Commission won't know for another 6 months how extensive this season's deer harvest has been, but officials say the numbers are about average with previous years. Hunters are required to mail report cards for each deer killed in Harrisburg within 10 days. According to Rich Kramer, a wildlife education supervisor with the Commission Northwest Region in Franklin, since the cards are hand-counted, the procedure can take a little time. This year's statewide deer population was expected to exceed 1.4 million, with about 246,000 of those being bucks. The Commission's statistics estimate that the harvest could reach 220,000. Miriam Walters knows something about culture shock. Born in Tunisia, an African country on the Mediterranean Sea, Walters has lived in Oil City for the last 8 years. Her expectations were high when she first ventured from her homeland. She said that the United States has a very good reputation in Tunisia. She has noticed that the people they aren't that different from those in her native country. Walters notes, however, that Tunisians, unlike most Americans, are multilingual. Tunisians have 2 native languages, Arabic and French, along with her 2 native tongues and English. Walters also speaks Italian. Walters said that she lived in Bizet, a town 100 miles from Sicily. She added that it's easy to learn other languages there because they were all close to each other. After 2 votes and an executive session discussion November 22nd, Clarion County Career Center's Joint Operation Committee hired longtime center employee Mary Judd Trice as the new business manager. Trice was hired to replace Susan Hindman, who left before the start of the school year to fill a position left vacant by the death of Clarion Limestone business manager Rod Fink. Trice's appointment did not come without conflict. The first vote yielded a 6-3 vote in favor of hiring Trice, but failed because the personnel issue required a majority vote of the total board of 7 votes. Board members called an executive session after the vote to discuss the matter. A second vote after the meeting reconvened,
produced the necessary vote to win the majority of the total board, thus approving Trice's employment as business manager.
Hunters are being enlisted in a campaign against illegal dumps in Pennsylvania being waged by the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. The DCNR has set up a toll-free hotline at 877-772-3673 where hunters can report dumps on state forest and state park lands. A private non-profit group called Pennsylvania Greenways will develop a statewide program that will access the problem of dumping on park forest lands, development cleanup procedures, and involve local communities and develop local and statewide education campaigns. Clean Waste Project Manager Helen Ostmiller said, "We know that some hunters are enraged because when they see this intentional trashing of our public lands, and we know that we can count on them for their support of this program."
Super 8's 9th annual Rooms at the Inn holiday program, including the area Super 8, will offer free accommodations on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day to out-of-town friends of relatives of patients in local facilities. According to Super 8 President and Chief Executive Officer Robert Weller, Super 8's Rooms at the Inn program is designed to bring families and friends together during the holidays. By removing the cost of the motel room, Weller added that Super 8's access across the country will hopefully make holiday gatherings a little bit easier for those in need. Rooms at the Inn was inspired by a similar program started in 1987 by Super 8 franchisees Linda Arnold and Gary Thraldson of Fargo, North Dakota. Coming up after the break, a mistrial has been announced in the case of a man accused of stealing, and a negligence dispute has been settled.
Plus, Amazon.com has landed itself in hot water, and could student athletes not have to strive for the same academic standards any longer? All this and more as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home.
Young children cannot stand on their own. Uniting parents and children is an important part of the life of a community. Stand for Children encourages people to make a personal commitment to stand for the health of children. 300,000 Americans marched in Washington, D.C. last June to support Stand for Children Day. Stand for Children seeks to lift the belief that children need our help to stand.
It's my birthday. I'm the man. It's my birthday.
Exercised lately?
Go for a mouthful. Go for the fun. Go for cake. Cakes for everyone. Just one stack is what it takes. And it's go for cakes. Open wide. Stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box. Then reload. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Hi, I'm Christy Desort.
And I'm Brian Cook from TV5 News.
On behalf of the Tuesday Night News team, season's greetings and a Happy New Year.
Anchored by Christy Desort, Brian Cook, Kristen Stetton with TV5 Weather.
Okay.
Martise McCree with sports. Now, from the news team bringing coverage closer to home, this is TV5 News.
You know, I always heard we look different on camera, but as by that intro you can tell we look a lot different tonight. Actually, that was our Tuesday night crew. But anyway, welcome back to TV5 News, and joining us now is Jeff Say with tomorrow's highlights from the Clarion Call. Jeff?
Stories to be covered in the last Clarion Call of the Millennium include Student Senate discusses the increase of the student activity fee. Dr. Willard Miller will receive an honorary Doctor of Science degree at commencement. Clarion's debate team held a public debate versus Allegheny College. And Dr. Brenda Day received an award naming her the Outstanding Black Achiever. Next semester's first edition of the Call will be on newsstands January 27th. Everyone at the Call wishes you and yours a safe and happy holidays. For TV5 News, I'm Jeff Say.
Thanks, Jeff. Our newspaper exchange partner, the Clarion News, has these headlines for you today. New commissioners prepare to take office. A bid opening changes and it pushes back the jail project. The Department of Environmental Protection Agency has a secret bid on a debt. These stories and more can be found in tomorrow's edition of the Clarion News.
An Erie County judge has called a mistrial in the case of a man accused of stealing $500,000 in musty-smelling money from a safe belonging to his former girlfriend's parents. Judge John Bonza declared a mistrial on Tuesday in the case of Stephen Wojtowicz. A prosecution witness testified that the case of the defendant's criminal past. Wojtowicz remains in the Erie County Prison pending a trial. The retrial will be scheduled for early next year. Police say that they caught up with Wojtowicz as he used the money, which had a distinctive odor, to tip new dancers at a club in Erie.
A trial for a suburban Pittsburgh gynecologist accused of negligence ended when both sides agreed to settle the dispute. Dr. Jay Shaw had been accused of failing to properly remove ovarian cysts from patient Karen Ward of Upper St. Clair. Attorneys for both sides have declined to comment on the incident. Ward and her husband sued Shaw in 1997. The trial was the third time in the last 10 years that Shaw found himself in court. Practicing is Yohinder Shaw, and he was acquitted in 1990 of criminal charges that he raped 2 patients and sexually assaulted a third.
A federal judge has appointed 5 people as interim directors for Connellsville Area School District after earlier results from the May primary election. District Judge Donald Lee also canceled the general election as part of a remedial plan to correct a population disparity in the district's 3 voting region. Lee says an upcoming election will now be held at an at-large basis, and the new appointees will serve their duties until June 1st.
A book publisher has filed a lawsuit in Pittsburgh accusing the world's largest internet retailer, Amazon.com, of lying to online customers. They say the company tells customers the books are temporarily unavailable, when in fact the London-based Toby Press says the internet company does not have a license to sell its books. Those books are only available through the Toby Press catalog or on their own personal website. Toby Press wants Amazon.com to have to say its books are available from the publisher and include its link to the website. 2 children were injured in a row house fire early Monday morning. The children still remain in critical condition at Children's Hospital. 11-year-old Michael and 10-year-old Brandy Hall were in cardiac arrest when they were taken to Children's Hospital after their home in Pittsburgh's Lawrenceville went up in flames. The children's mother, Marion Hall, and older sister, 14-year-old Tara Hall, jumped from the house's 2nd floor. The 2 remain in fair condition at Mercy Hospital. Firefighters rescued both Michael and Brandy, as well as Brandy's twin brother, Randy, and their 3-year-old sister, Jocelyn. Randy was pronounced dead an hour after the rescue, and Jocelyn died later Monday evening.
Investigators believe a fire in Beaver County that killed a homeowner and the man who tried to save him was accidental. Rochester Fire Chief Michael Hoeing says the officials can't say for sure what caused the blaze that killed 81-year-old Edward Bender. James Haresco, a next-door neighbor, tried to save Bender but died from the injuries he sustained. Hoeing says Bender's Rochester home had too many extension cords, plus it lacked a smoke alarm. School systems are considering relaxing academic standards for student athletes. The district now requires student athletes to maintain at least a 2.0 grade point average and earn at least a C in 5 subjects to be eligible to participate in sports. The Pittsburgh School Board is considering a proposal to allow physical education to be one of those 5 subjects. The board will likely vote on the proposed policy on December 22nd. Straight ahead on TV5 News, Russian lawmakers will meet to start the process of an agreement between themselves and the United States. Are firefighters still buried in the debris of a burned-down warehouse? Find out.
Plus, Jen DeVito will have the latest details on your local Clarion area forecast. And join us for the most recent health information with tonight's installment of the Health Beat. All this and more as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home.
With the holidays just around the corner,
we would like to extend our season's greetings.
And a Happy New Year to all of our viewers.
In the new millennium.
We will see you back here in February.
Introducing new frequent phone hours.
Use the phone just 8 hours a week and get this free phone cradle. Use it 12 hours and get a speakerphone.
Use it 15 hours and get this cool headset.
Or stay on the phone 20 hours a week
and get a pasty complexion,
flabby body, and a great new nickname at school.
Exercised lately?
As As the holiday season nears and the smell of chestnuts roasting,
And the falling snow are making this holiday season a special one.
I'm Christy Herman.
And I'm Dave Marsh from the Wednesday Night News Team. Season's greetings and happy holidays from all of us here at TV5.
It's not just about making plans. It's about making a difference and taking an interest, not just earning it. At Edward Jones, it's about more than investing. It's about knowing you.
My every hope, my life, my world, it all begins with a dream.
Edward Jones, investing in you and your dreams.
In Clarion, see Gary Martin, located on Main Street. Phone 226-7896.
And welcome back to TV5 News. In world news, Russian lawmakers may be nearing a vote on ratifying the START II nuclear arms reduction agreement with the United States. State Duma leaders will meet on Monday to decide whether to put the treaty to a vote. The agreement plans to cut U.S. and Russian nuclear arsenals in half. That is about 3,000 warheads each. This agreement cleared the U.S. Congress in 1996. Russian lawmakers have put off the vote for fear that the agreement would weaken Russian security. Firefighters in Worcester, Massachusetts continue looking through smoldering debris of a burned-out warehouse. They are trying to locate 4 fallen comrades. The body of a second firefighter, James Lyons, was found in the rubble just last night. A firefighter's axe was also found on the scene. The fire chief says the area has become an area of interest in the search. 2 homeless people are being charged with involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say the pair started the fire by knocking over a candle during a disagreement.
In tonight's installment of the Health Beat, Medicare is not enough for older Americans. The AARP reports that despite the government's help for the elderly, they will spend an average of more than $2,400 of out-of-pocket expenses for health care this year. The AARP says that it is about 19% of the average income among the elderly. The group would like to see Medicare coverage for prescription drugs that are not covered by Medicare right now. These drug accounts for the biggest chunk of the expenses. Jen Bevavino joins us now from the TV5 Weather Center with a closer look at your Clarion area forecast. Jen?
Clarion's current and extended weather conditions. Taking a brief look back to today's weather conditions, you did notice conditions to be a bit overcast, although the sun did shine through briefly today. If you walked out to your car this morning, you did notice conditions to be a bit frigid. There's probably a layer of frost on your windshield that you had to scrape off to leave the parking area that you were in. And just to remind you of this now, temperatures will be remaining along the same range throughout the rest of the week and into the weekend. Temperatures will be getting a little cooler. We will be seeing some precipitation in the form of rain and snow. Taking a look at our satellite imagery map now, you will notice conditions to be clear at the moment, but conditions will be getting a little bit cooler, and we will be seeing signs of precipitation around Friday and Saturday of this week. You will notice that conditions are lying to the western portion of the state with easterly winds moving across the state. We'll be seeing these conditions of rain and snow showers. Taking a look at our frontals map now, you will notice that we are at the moment engulfed within a high pressure system, although keeping in mind this low pressure system looking to the western portion of the state will be once again moving easterly across the nation, and we'll be seeing its effects Friday and Saturday of this week. Taking a look at our highs map now, for today we had a high of around 36 degrees. We were into the mid-30s region. We'll be seeing temperatures remain along the same lines throughout the rest of the week. Taking a look at our lows map now, for tomorrow our lows will be ranging from the high 20s to the lower 30s region. So do keep this in mind. It will be a little cooler outside. Taking a look at our precipitation map, you will notice once again we are free of precipitation. We were free of precipitation today, but we will be seeing the effects of precipitation Friday and Saturday of this week. Now taking a look at our 5-day planner, you will notice for Thursday it will be partly cloudy with a high of 51 and a low of 32. For Friday, we'll have rain showers changing to snow showers in the afternoon with a high of 46 and a low of 36. For Saturday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 41 and a low of 24. For Sunday, it will be mostly cloudy with a high of 47 and a low of 26. And for Monday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 45 and a low of 25. And those are Clarion's current and extended weather conditions. Back to you, Dave and Christy.
Thanks, Jen. Coming up after the break, a man pays a mighty high price for a team losing a game.
And we'll have a special sports issue in 1 minute. All this and more as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home.
Getting out from the crowd is easy when you stop in at Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy, girls, or fashion for women, they have it all with many different styles. With our newly expanded shoe and accessory department, you're surely to find that special touch to enhance that new outfit. And if you have a fashion question, our experts are here to help. That's Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall, just off Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Sunday from noon till 5.
Where have all the children gone? Long time passing.
Every day, 10 children are killed by gunfire. You can help stop the violence. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT. Not one more lost life. Not one more grieving family. Not one more.
Gone to graveyards one by one. Oh, when will we ever learn?
News travels fast. That's why you need the speed and accuracy of a news team that brings coverage closer to home. Every Tuesday and Wednesday night, join TV5 News for Clarion's only live local newscast on television at 8. Tune in for the latest in regional, state, and national news. Plus, with our newspaper exchange partner, the Clarion News, teaming up to bring coverage closer to home every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Clarion's only live local newscast on television at 8 is here on TV5.
Carl Lewis and Jackie Joyner-Kersee have been picked by a select panel of experts as the top male and female summer Olympians of the century. The panel's choice for the top winter Olympians are Eric Heiden and Sonia Henne. Also in sports, in 1 minute, in Dallas, Southern Methodist University has fired an assistant football coach accused of breaking the NCAA recruiting rules and has trimmed 8 scholarships from its program. Results of an investigation have been turned over to the NCAA. That's all for sports in 1 minute.
Thanks, Christy. The top cop at the University of Nebraska has had a close shave. Ken Cobble has come within a hair of sporting the chrome look. Cobble promised the Nebraska players he would shave his head if they won the Big 12 championship. Nebraska did just that on last Saturday's game. The team beat Texas 22-6. Cobble was ready to make good on his promise yesterday at Memorial Stadium, but won a temporary reprieve. It seems no one had a pair of scissors. I think this would give new meaning to the expression, hair today, gone tomorrow.
Thanks. Well, that about wraps up tonight's broadcast and this year's edition of TV5 News. I wish you all a happy holiday. I'm Christy Herman.
And since this is the last show for me ever, I would like to wish everyone continued success in their college experiences and their professional endeavors. It has been a privilege to bring you the news these last 2 seasons. And Christy, it's been very nice to work with you.
Thank you.
And
It's been a privilege to work with you.
It's been a good season for us. So, for the last time, for the entire TV5 News team, I'm Dave Marsh. Good night and good luck.